I'm a Sudanese journalist and I just had to flee my own country on a plane in the middle of the night. This is what happened.
You can't film anything openly without risking arrest or assault. Nearly just got caught.
So I'm back in London after spending the last couple of months reporting on the situation in Sudan. The country is in crisis. People are out in the streets protesting against the government. And the government has been cracking down hard on demonstrations. I was reporting on all of this and basically had to leave or risk arrest.
We're just about to take off now and I am relieved, to say the least.
So yeah, I'm safe, but Sudan is still in the throes of an uprising. This is the story of the people who are still there. So I grew up between Sudan and the UK, and this regime has been around longer than I've been alive. But this latest wave of protests feels different. It's historic in its size, scale, and spread. It cuts across class and gender divides. But perhaps what's most striking of all has been the leading role doctors have taken on the front lines of the protests. And the government has clearly taken notice. This footage was filmed on Hospital Street in Khartoum. 4 medics in white coats are arrested and driven off by the military. That video was bad, but then I got sent something that was far worse. This video shows live gunfire as government militia storm a hospital. After weeks of arresting protesters, forces raid the building, shooting live ammunition and tear gas into an emergency room.
العالم في شرطة بتخش جوا المستشفى وتضرب رصاص حي جوا المستشفى ما زي الهم.
There's chaos as bullets are fired.
هذا النظام مجيء غير العالم هذه مجيء.
Inside the emergency ward, they clear out a CS gas attack with oxygen tanks. You can't hear what they're saying over the canisters being released. And why have doctors become a target? Well, this is what this doctor told me.
والله أكثر من 20 نفر. الناس اللي أنا بعلمهم شخصيا والله لأنه الأطباء هم خط الدفاع الأول يعني فأنت لو عطلت الأطباء شغالين في المستشفيات معناها عطلت الشعب كله.
When he says cripple, he means it. This 22-year-old protester was shot in the leg while demonstrating. We tracked him down to a local hospital, but it was full of policemen. So we had to film him secretly on a mobile phone. Civil unrest is nothing new for this part of the world, and comparisons are being made to the Arab Spring in neighbouring countries. Sudan is just south of Egypt. It's where the Arab world and sub-Saharan Africa meet. The country has seen waves of unrest since 2009. It peaked in 2013 when there were reports of over 200 killed. These protests were initially sparked as a result of increased fuel and food prices, but they were anti-regime from the very start. And this is the leader they're protesting against. President OMER al-Bashir, who, while thousands were taken to the streets in demonstration, was busy performing his trademark stick dance to loyal supporters. Al-Bashir came to power in a military coup in 1989. He's now been in power for nearly 30 years, making him one of the longest-running dictators in the world. He's wanted by the International Criminal Court, who charged him with genocide in Darfur and crimes against humanity, which include the displacement of millions, as well as extermination, rape, and torture. The warrant for his arrest, which also includes war crimes, has been out since 2009. 10 years later, this was Bashir's response to the current protests.
ليس الهدف هو قتل المواطنين وإنما الهدف النهائي هو الحفاظ على أمن المواطنين واستقرارهم. نحن لن نسمح للبلاد أنها تنزلق كما زلقت دول أخرى لأنه يا جماعة نحن أكرم من أن نكون لاجئين ونازحين.
While the government say they're not targeting civilians, videos still circulate showing people being pursued just for filming on their phones. In this video, these people almost get caught by soldiers as they try and film a beating. As we drove, a man was attacked in front of us just for trying to record on his phone. The government justified the crackdown as a way to keep the country safe and stable. But for me, it was getting more and more difficult to report on what was happening. On New Year's Eve, armed forces attacked me for filming this convoy.
I'm safe, I'm back home, just lost a shirt, my dad's shirt, done. They're using an extreme amount of force, not just on protesters, but on civilians that are seen as observers or filming or even just watching.
In this instance, I was attacked as a curious civilian and was able to carry on reporting. But it was getting tricky.
And there are armed forces and undercover security agents deployed all across the city. We can't film anything openly without risking arrest or assault. We nearly just got caught a second ago.
And eventually, I did get caught. My last report for Channel 4 News was seemingly the last straw for the government. Doctors had given me x-rays which showed that protesters had been shot by snipers. I had told the story of one man, Yasser Ali, who'd been shot by a sniper and then arrested. His wife was there the day he was taken.
He said, "We want this man." Just like this, we want this man. He was laying in this bed, and then I said, "This man is injured, how you want to take him?" He said, "No, I know that he was injured and we're going to take him."
Yasser has since been released. But that film, investigating the government's use of snipers against peaceful protesters, goes on air and grabs the government's attention. A week after the piece is shown on TV, this happens. Journalists were being arrested by the government, and I was advised to leave quickly.
They've come out publicly with a campaign against agitators, and they're making it very clear that that does include journalists and the media. We're just about to take off now, and I am relieved.
The Sudanese government threatened to file a serious criminal case against me. Successful conviction would have been life imprisonment or death by execution. At least 45 people have already been killed in these protests. If they continue, that figure is only likely to rise. But with fewer reporters able to work in the country, it's going to be harder to know what's going on and what the true scale of the violence really is.